If you are listening to or reading this, it can be safely assumed that you are either undergoing the search or maybe just curious about the reality of a final awakening and the process of inner mystical transformation. But we are deep into an age whose totems are separation and fragmentation, atomization and monadism, or even those who are immersed in the search are still entranced and trapped within the spiral black magic spells of this age. Working on their inner transformation like a brain in a jar, separated and fragmented, atomized and monadistic, and if there is any connection at all, is just with the fellow devotees of their occult and hermetic mystery cult. But despite these appearances, their apparent separation and fragmentation, their apparent atomization and monadism, existence is in actuality not divided, but interwoven and interconnected. And although this is closer to the reality of how things really are, it too is not entirely correct. For on another level, reality is not interconnected because there are no distinct parts to connect. It is instead undivided and indivisible. And although this is closer to the reality of how things really are, it too is not entirely correct. For undivided and indivisible are just words, and for every word there is that which it is not. And for the true reality that encompasses everything, there is nothing that which it is not. A totality that transcends the limits of language and thought, a reality of that which cannot be spoken, of that which can, is a lie. An existence that is, was, and always will be a silent and unutterable sacred mystery. Though from your current locus of perception in space-time, the idea of an existence that is in actuality a sacred totality may seem as fantastic as the feverish rantings of a madman or the wish fulfillments of a simpleton. For you appear to be hopelessly enmeshed in a life of endless perpetual war between neighbor and neighbor, the grotesque exploitation by brother of sister and sister of brother, and the endless perpetual war within your mind, body, and soul, from which there is no real escape, no permanent release from the conflict you carry around inside you. However, the society that appears external and objective to oneself is really just a mirror of one's own inner experience collectively expressed. Society is not something external and outside, existing independently of one's being, but a reflection of the participants' inner lives, a concretization of their minds. If you want to change this world that distresses and upsets you, first you must change that empire of hell within you. At this location in space-time, humanity is aware, all too aware, of the blood-soaked plains of history, of the endless and eternal reversals from the ideal to the guillotine. Too educated and well-read to not be aware of those external changes that in the end increase suffering instead of decreasing it, creating ignorance instead of enlightening, slavery instead of freedom. A humanity still aware, all too aware, of this world currently on fire, historical awareness leading to impotency, then of resigned nihilism, the flames within and without just seeming to fan further, no matter how many mind-bending drugs you take, glowing screens you stare at, blood-soaked gold you amass and hoard. But despite the apparent hopelessness of all this, there is actually a way out. You are going to simply detach. There is no need to drop out externally, to leave your everyday life to pursue your inner transformation. You will rise the same, work the same, educate the same, play the same. Among your friends and family, in the midst of the chaos and conflicts and the strains and stresses of your society. Your mundane existence is going to be your yoga. Direct your attention to your immediate actions, the flows of your thoughts and feelings, and observe them detached. Let them rise and fall, and follow and understand the concatenation of associations behind them. For when your inner awareness and self-understanding grows gradually, so will the power of the false mind self and reality gradually lose its power, its grip, its hypnotic trance over your being. And although you will continue to rise the same, work the same, educate the same, play the same, among your friends and family, in the midst of the chaos and conflicts and strains and stresses of your society, your external reality will gradually and incrementally change. For what was important before will seem less so, and what was not now will. Since the apparently objective and external societal reality you are embedded in is really just a mirror of one's own inner experience collectively expressed. Undergoing the process of inner mystical transformation will transmute the apparently objective and external societal reality as well. Your new supramundane reality will overflow the walls and barriers of the cubes you inhabit with a chaos celestial, and a net will form with the others, at first with only one link, then two, each node in the network a reflection in that net of reflections, increasing exponentially, without asserting itself, without struggle, without war, a revolution invisible to those who only see struggle and dominance in gold, to those without the eyes to see. An invisible revolution that proceeds until all are reflecting, all are connected in a jeweled network, and society is finally transformed, ascends to the unutterable sacred mystery of which it really is.